Well, good evening, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. It's Saturday, 8 o'clock in the evening, on this 14th of March, 2026. I'm JP with Transparent Jeeps, and welcome to the stream channel. I will be getting used to the load cell pedals. Got the Simpson Pro Plus Plus Pro whatever stuff, and unfortunately the haptics are gonna be coming a couple of days later. They were not shipped together, so okay. Yeah, I should probably do a proper review of these pedals once I get used to load cells, but it's definitely different. It's gonna require me getting used to. I got my little kitty cat here. You may or may not be able to see him, but he's gonna make everything a little bit more challenging. It's a little bit harder for me to be comfortable. These pedals are in an upright position, and it would be a little bit more comfortable if they were in a little bit more of an angle. Something around the 60, 70 degrees would be nice. But we'll see here, we'll see here. Practice makes perfect, right?
Green flag, green flag.
Yeah, even the accelerator is different. It's also a load cell. Ooh! I don't want to smash into nobody. I just want to get a feeling for these pedals before I go online and wreck people's races. That's the last thing we want to do. Locking up. Not badly, but still. Ooh, not good.
That time was a 146.78.
Oh, my tires are a little bit too toasty.
Lap 142.08.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to restart. We restart everything now, right? Okay, we're gonna have to do another session. Need to get this car set up for this race this week. Thursday. I'm gonna have to get used to load cells as well. Ah, Okay, let's try this. Oh, sim hub's not working there. Let's get it reloaded. Why is sim hub not working? There we go. Now it's working. Oops. What was that? My wheel just disconnected. That never happens. We're gonna have to be careful here with our cables, I'm guessing. Luckily, didn't smash or anything. Okay. Let's get to it. I'm stopping a lot sooner than I used to. I just want to stay away from lockups. Yeah, I want to avoid lockups. There you go, dude. Nope, not the kind of driving I want to do. That was bad.
That time was a 1:42.89.
Really want to avoid the lockups.
Lap 1:42.12.
Dang it. Okay, let me try something else here. Let's go with new tires. Let's bring this up. Try to, I really don't want to touch this. Can we just calibrate one pedal at a time? Do I need to do both? Let's try just one. Okay, so it didn't touch the throttle, did it? Okay, now let's try this again. Oh, yeah, that's way too much. I'm gonna regret this. Yeah, that's way too. Yeah, I'm not home. Let's redo this. I should probably remember the number that I hit so that I get to. Oops. Did we just lose my tracking here? My head tracking? I think we did. Go. Why are there two of these? Where is the octopus? Oh, there it is. Did we accidentally stop this? Apparently we did. Okay. Trial number 15. Okay, that's a little bit better. Maybe not. We'll have to see.
Time 1:43.48.
I really need to go and look at those numbers when I'm calibrating it. Oh, I just lost my... Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to check some cables here. It's twice that it happens now, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Where is the flashlight when you need one? Okay. Let's keep playing and see what happens. Okay. Oh, probably need some new tires. And let's try to bring this up to 80. There we go. See how this goes.
Gulnarazinating Kaizi 855 said hi.
Well, hellos. How are you this evening? And I lost control of my wheel again. Okay, I'm having some issues here, so I'm gonna try something a little bit different perhaps. Okay, let's see if another USB port will have the same problems. Okay.
That time was a 4:00.43.
Okay, well, thank you for giving me a tap in the rear there. So how are they even braking later?
Justin Slim Friesen says, hey hey.
Hey, how's it going?
That time was a 1:44.92.
Justin Slim Friesen says, good. Somehow missed the notification today.
Well, luckily I'm pretty regular with my hours, so... So did you see my post? I also saw your post in Discord. Unfortunately, I saw it before getting on this evening. Because when you said he was on, I went and looked, and he was streaming like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but he had no sound. So I'm guessing he was testing out stuff.
Justin Slim Friesen says, not liking the pedals? Not sure what you mean by IYAAA back.
Well, that's my keyboard having fun with me. I don't know why it does that. It only does that when I'm in Le Mans. And it's just something that started recently. But yeah, it's very different. As the accelerator is also a load cell, so it takes some getting used to. And also the pedal could go up to 200 kilograms, so it's like when you calibrate, they say smash it as hard as you can, but I'm never going to be braking that hard. There's no use trying to max it out when I will only use like 25% of it. think a 35 kilogram would have been plenty.
Gamer YT says, hello everybody.
Hey, Gamer, how are you?
Justin Slim Friesen says, yeah, they should say, press as hard as you like.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to remind myself of what that number actually is when I do get around to it. I'm just trying to figure out how things work because it's different. Like the throttle travel is a little bit too much for me as well, so
Justin Slim Friesen says, basically press as hard as you want to press for full brake. Then there should be some button to click to set that as your max.
well, when you calibrate, it just goes all the way to whatever number is available, so I just need to remind myself around what number do I want it at, because I don't know how hard I want to push on it. So for the moment, I'm a bit slower, but I guess eventually I'll get used to it. It's like the magnetic thing, you know. You get used to how you brake and stuff. Ooh, that was too much. Way too much.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I don't know. Both my load cell brakes were very simple to set the pressure that I want. In both cases it wasn't max that the pedal was capable of.
Well, neither is this one. I think it's set up about anywhere between a third and 50%. I'm just trying to figure out if that's too much or not enough. I think I was not supposed to do that. That was a big lockup. But given the number of laps that I went around, and that it's currently at 97% instead of my usual 60%, I think that, I don't know, I still need a lot of practice. Yeah, I might have set it too high, and I need to lower it. Or maybe it's just right and I just need to get used to it. See, sometimes I'm not braking enough and sometimes I lock up. Sometimes I'm scrapping my tires here, which never happened to me before. It's not only the brakes, it's the throttle I need to get used to. Oh, did I just lose my octopus again?
Justin Slim Friesen says, I want to change my front spring to a softer one so I have a more clear difference in the two stages. But I'm too lazy to do it. LOL.
Well, it depends on the pedals. Some are more complicated than others. I just untighten the preload, pull on the thing, it comes up, and switch the things on the rod, and then put it back down, and then Screw back the preload and ready to go. But yeah, so far I'm not even feeling different stages. It's just push or push harder. I just have to do laps and laps and laps and just get a feel for the new system. Because it's so different from a potentiometer. It's harder for me to make precise changes. I'm not used to it yet.
Dollarot Ninjair says, how are we tonight?
Struggling. Hi, Dale. Well, I don't know if you are aware of this, but I jumped into the load cell pedal system and I'm having a hard time adapting. I guess I just need to practice and practice some more.
Dollarot Ninjair says, I would be struggling too. Hypers and new pedals are a strong drink.
Well, I didn't want to make it too easy for Larson, so.
Justin Slim Friesen says, my spring is a bit softer than my Ellis Tomer. So I set my pressure such that when the spring bottoms out I'm at 80%. Then the stiffer Ellis Tomers give me the remaining 20%.
Yeah, you should get rid of the elastomers altogether. And just go with a super stiff spring and a medium spring. Well, what do I know? I'm just trying to get used to it.
Justin Slim Friesen says, okay, LOL.
Well, not that I have anything against the elastomers, but everybody says that eventually you're going to have to get replacements because they crack and die out on you. So you lose consistency actually with those. I don't know. I guess I'll find out in a year or two.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Mine are chambered, so they last much longer.
Do you lube them before you go to bed at night?
Cheddar Gamer YT says. Does your hypercar is AWD or FWD?
I don't know. I like to think it's only rear-wheel drive, but I might be mistaken. Or the all-wheel drive system is so good that you don't even notice it.
That time was a 146.58.
I just know that they go fast and they got no ABS. Well, sometimes I'm braking way too early and
Justin Slim Friesen says. How'd the race finish, Dale?
I think they made it all the way back up to 7th or 9th or something.
Dalrotman Jair says. P13. Happy with it.
Well, it could have been better. 13th. I mean, if it would have been 14th, then okay, we're the 14th. It would have matched with the date.
Dalrotman Jair says. Nah, not in that split LOL.
I'm surprised. Does Wolfie stream his races? Because he did it a solo. Man, that's way too much for me. After an hour, I struggle. Physically. I can't stay.
Dalrotman Jair says. I don't think Wolf streams.
Oh, that's a shame.
Justin Slim Friesen says. A nice recovery that early spin.
That's 148.07.
Oh, I'm braking way too early. I'm gonna have to learn how to drive all over again, not that I was any good at this.
Dalrotman Jair says. Yeah, it costed us more time in the pits, but we wouldn't have gained any spots without it in the end, LOL.
Everybody was actually having good races, but everybody was having issues.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Ah, fair enough.
Some people got disconnected. That's the last thing I want to do is flat spot my tires. Okay. Let's rethink this. Okay, let's try another calibration. So 2800. Let's try to remember that number. Did I switch my tires here? I did not. Okay, let's try this again. Don't know if it'll be easier for me to modulate the brakes, but we'll see. Practice, practice, practice. Oh, that might be too easy to lock up now. I'm so glad I let people convince me to get into load cells.
Dalarodman Jair says, "This is my exact experience with hypercars."
Well, not me. Not me. I have so much fun with it usually. Now I'm just learning to drive again. Okay, we went up to 2800, I said, so let's go to 27-ish. Like, I'm not really fast or anything. I'm just like I always brake very early before the corner. And then I just floor it and I have so much fun.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "After I dialed in the brake pressure in the setup, it wasn't bad, Dale." Dalarodman Jair says, "EU setup." Justin Slim Friesen says, "But I just don't find them enjoyable anymore." Justin Slim Friesen says, "LOL."
Ah, they're very enjoyable.
Dalarodman Jair says, My reflexes are barely fast enough for GT3 LOL.
Well, that I agree with you. Me too, these cars are way too fast for me. And it took me so long to... I mean, every once in a blue moon I'll do a race. Once every 2 weeks, ranked, and... like, okay, this was different. I'm happy to go back to GT3s. And then I decided to sacrifice myself for the league, since a lot of people wanted to do hypercars. And now I'm kind of bitten by it. I'm in love with it. Oh, really? I'm just practicing. I'm not ready for a race. Okay, well, racing is practice. I guess.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
It's just really hard to go back to the garage to switch tires or tweak stuff.
Justin Slim Friesen says. A lot of people, he says. That why there were so many signups. LOL.
Okay, well, agreed with you, it might not seem like a lot.
Rodman Jair says. LOL.
Well, that's exactly it. It might not seem like a lot, but every once in a while I see this post about not having enough people to do hypercars. And some people wanting to do hypercars.
The only other person screeching keep it was Lung, and he's in a GT3.
And so when the time came around,
Justin Slim Friesen says, I know what you mean, Jeeps. I'm only kidding.
Well, for people that don't know it, I mean, okay, now that I see we're only 6, I get it, it's not that many. But I thought maybe,
Green flag.
you know, there was like 7 or 8 or 9 and you needed to be 10. So I'm like, okay, if I can make a difference, I'll go into hypercars so people can enjoy it. I mean, it's only going to make me a better driver, right? I mean, all I've been doing in this game for the 6 months is GT3s, and once every 2 or 3 weeks hop into one race prototypes or hypercars, and I'm happy to be done with it once it's over.
Rodman Jair says, I love multi-class racing, so I'm glad we're keeping hypers.
Well, me too. I've been hosting a couple of races these past couple of days, and I like being able to pass cars for once. Even if I'm, you know, the last hypercar in the grid, at least I get to pass 1 or 2 GT3s. Whereas when I'm racing in GT3, seems all that happens is me getting passed. Every once in a while I'll have a good fight, but then somebody disconnects or gets into an accident or rage quits. DNFs. I'm like, okay.
Rodman Jair says, yeah, even if you're alone in GT3, there's still the excitement when hypers come through.
Always have to be aware of everything, look in your mirrors, see what's coming. I might not be passing anybody, I might not be fast. If I'm not locking up my tires, I'm happy. And strangely enough, this week I went and did a ranked gold race in the hypercars.
Rodmanjayer says. Exactly, Jeeps. Start with just not locking up and go from there.
Well, this week I joined a gold rank hypercar race and actually won that. I was very lucky because the guy in front of me got a drive-through but also had to pit for fuel. So he almost screwed up and almost ended up disqualified. But yeah, it cost him a lot, allowing me to win. So hey, never give up.
Rodmanjayer says. That's awesome, lol.
Yeah, given that, you know, I'm not that good of a driver. There's a fairy somewhere, a magical He-Man car that's sending luck my way. I really hate his car and all I want to do is smash it when we get to the race. It would be nice if for the first race you turn the damage off. Just so we could give him a little bump here and there.
Justin Slim Friesen says. LOL.
It's just an idea. Sometimes I say stuff out loud. Oh, I'm getting within 4 seconds. I would say that ain't bad for me. I just gotta keep doing laps and laps and laps, and eventually the brain will understand how things work. Don't need to overthink it. I should not have been saying that. I still do need to concentrate. Now that my tires have flat spotted, I'm in doo-doo.
That time was a 147.56.
Yeah, what not to do. Once you flat spot, it becomes easier and easier to flat spot again, and it's just a bloody rabbit hole.
The Viking Simmer says, hello.
Hey Viking, how are you this evening? Sorry I missed your streams, but one lasted 20 seconds, then the other one 10 minutes but had no sound. But I installed my pedals. I could not wait for the haptics to come in, and I just decided to go for it. Hopefully the haptics will help me figure out the lockups.
The Viking Simmer says, been getting back into it, but don't worry, I got everything sounding great. Justin Slim Friesen says, sup Viking?
Well, yeah, because Justin posted your last stream there, and I went and looked at it. And yeah, everything was up and running okay. Unfortunately, I got to watch about 5 minutes of it before starting my stream this evening,
5.28.
because I've been busy installing the pedals.
Viking Simmer says, and I dismembered the HF8 Pro and put into the seat.
You what? Really? Okay. Kudos. Good on you. I like it when people hack and
Viking
slash
Simmer
and do
says,
their own thing.
feels better.
Well, I can't say the same for these load cell pedals. I just need to get
Viking Simmer
used to
says,
them.
doesn't have that stupid mat over my nice seat anymore.
Time 146.43.
So maybe what I need to do instead of putting the haptics on the pedals is just Gorilla Glue them to my hips. Is that what you're saying? The one in the back and the other one in the arse?
The Viking Simmer says, if it works then yes. Rodman Jair says, pause.
Pause, full pause, rewind, erase. Let's start anew. Well, I like the idea in the system, and I don't know why they just don't sell it. Why do they have to put it in a foam padded seat? But most people at a certain level have very comfy seats.
That time was
The
1:40.
Viking Simmer says, they just released the new seats that have them now.
Yes, I saw the not just the cover there, but the entire seat. Oh man. I didn't feel.
Rodman Jair says, dismember the HF8 has me cackling. Rodman Jair says, LOL.
Well, they should have sold the system and the
Viking
software
Simmer says,
separately.
I have pictures of the insides.
You should have streamed that though. Call it AMSR and stress relief techniques. Then address the audience. This is a massage.
Rodman Jair says, Simgore LOL.
Simgore, yep.
The Viking Simmer says, didn't think of it and it only took 10 minutes LOL.
Lap 1:46.84.
Yeah, these tires are getting really bad.
The Viking Simmer says, my kid could have figured it out.
Well, apparently it wasn't all that, I mean, people were complaining that it wasn't washable and stuff like that. So once it gets sweaty, uh, yeah, you need to use a lot of Febreze on it. So I'm happy you put them in your seat, though. They should just sell this system and the software for it. Okay, well, that's not a great success, but it's not a failure either. I still need to practice. I feel like I'm close to figuring this out, but my instinct is going back to just relieving the pressure on the pedals. Well, that one was at 90%. This is 75. Now I might not be able to stop. So what time is the F1 race this evening, or is it early tomorrow morning? And I made a mistake, Justin. When I was telling you about the sprint race, I made a big mistake.
The Viking Simmer says, my time is at 0100.
Okay, so that means midnight for me tonight. Okay. Well, I went to bed watching the was it the first practice session? And I woke up and they were in a race. So I figured it was the sprint race. And remember me telling you, well, Hamilton, complained about...
The Viking Simmer says, number 2,300 for you, I'm 2 hours difference.
Oh, okay. So in an hour from now, it's going to be the race. Excellent. Need an excuse.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I figured that out after a bit of confusion, Jeeps. LOL.
Yeah, because I'm like, Hamilton complained again about the pits. There was a yellow, and he said somebody should have taken advantage of it, and I'm like, not again. And then I realized that, yeah, when I woke up, what I was watching wasn't the sprint. They were replaying last week's race. Because last night when I got off, I watched the sprint race. I'm like, it's 2 races in a row now that Hajar's engine blows out. My brain's not that fast. I need like 4 coffees in the morning to wake it up. Whoa, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna make it. Ooh, I almost made it. So, okay, I need to find a balance between 75 and 90%. I'm not stopping fast enough, but I'm not locking up either, so... Oop, a little bit of lock up there. I don't know who invented these load cell pedals. And I don't know who was saying this is better. This is the way. This old dog that has a hard time learning new tricks ain't too happy. Oh, I forgot about the camera, folks. Hellos.
Justin Slim Friesen says. I find load cells way more natural. Was night and day for me.
Well, yes, it's night and day. It used to be day, now it's night. I'm surrounded by darkness. I hate my life. But who knows? By the time the haptics get here Monday or Tuesday, maybe I'll be happy again. Actually, the 75% seems to be working better for me. Maybe as I get used to the load cell, I could bring it back up a bit. But I used to be at 60%, so I have 15% more braking power than I used to.
That time was a 1:42.97.
Ugh. So during the qualifyings, Anatoly is the youngest F1 driver ever on pole, which begs the question, how old is this kid?
Justin Slim Friesen says. Well, I'll say this. The brake trace isn't just on /off anymore. That's already a big improvement.
Say that the brake trace isn't just on off anymore. Okay.
Time 1:43.38.
You like cascading waves? Well, racing should be about stopping and going. No in-betweens. You either go for gold or you don't. Nobody saw that. So, nobody knows how old Anatoly is. Whatever his name is. He's gonna be on poll. I'm gonna change the subject.
Jetter Gamer YT says. Another pause.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try a little bit more power then. Okay, you know what? I might be comfortable to go and do a race. Or at least go and practice with other people now. What's going on online? Anybody hosting? Anybody doing anything? Oh, dang it. I'm gonna have to practice GT3 cars here. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. Maybe I should have been practicing some GT3s as well. Hey, pussycat. You're a good boy. Eat daddy's big baby. I'm teaching him how to race so that next season we get an extra driver. No, you pain in the butt. You can wait. You can wait. Oh, I didn't check if this was fixed setups though. Okay, we seem to be able to change stuff. Why is everybody on wet tires? Is there rain in this race?
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Okay. Guess we'll find out the hard way. 12.5 laps.
Justin Slim Friesen says. GL.
Thank you. I'm definitely gonna need it. Says 50% dry. What does that mean? The other 50% is wet? No, everybody's on mediums. Okay. We got this. We got this. Man, if I cannonball anybody in the first corner, I apologize. They made me do it.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, age 19 years, August 25, 2006.
Oh! Somebody Googled. So he's 19 years old. Okay. I'm surprised that never has there been a 19-year-old on pole before.
Formation lap has started.
Like, I haven't been paying attention to him, so when they said the youngest, I figured he was like 17. Oh, I'm starting last. Okay, well, that's what happens when you don't qualify. Oh man, I'm gonna have to press on the brakes a lot more than hypercars. Ew, this is different. Okay, we'll just take it slow and get used to it.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Normally those young guys start with bottom rung teams.
Green flag, green flag.
Yeah, I know. He's extremely lucky to be with Mercedes. But I remember him being that age next to Hamilton, so I mean Russell being that age next to Hamilton, so now Russell's the veteran. Ooh, 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 ooh. Am I gonna be able to avoid accidents? Well, that was fun. That never happens to me in that corner.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I love Fuji.
I'd rather go to the Fiji Islands, but Fuji ain't bad. F1 definitely needs to go to Hawaii. I'd really like to see a hula girl hold the checkered flag.
That time was a 2:06.27.
Okay, well, the load cell seems to make a lot more sense in GT3s, though. I mean, it's more forgiving, you got the ABS. It should be quicker for me to grasp a hold of it. Oh, that was close.
That's 1:49.61.
Whoa! Okay, no. My McLaren never does this here. So what am I doing differently that is causing me to spin out there? Normally I go through that full speed ahead on fourth, Okay, two Porsches. One has a plus 10. I think he has 3 laps to do it, if I'm not mistaken.
That time was a 1:55.75.
So if this not this time around, then next time around he should just vanish from in front of me. Okay, let's move up the traction control and see what happens here. Could be that I'm not used to feathering the throttle there either, so all these Porsches driven by the same guy. Kinda seems like it. Often enough, you have all these people. I've always wanted to drive a Porsche. I don't know how to drive, but I always wanted to drive one of these. I don't think he's going into the pits. So it's been 3 laps that he has a plus 10, so
6.49.
why is he still on the field? Or on the track or whatever.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Plus 10 you don't have to clear. It's just added to your time at the end of the race. Or served on your next pit stop. Choice is yours.
Time.
Oh, okay.
0.02.
Good to know. Good to know. Let me guess, another Porsche. I really have to smash the pedal for the ABS to kick in, which I'm not used to. Usually every time I brake, the ABS kicks in automatically. Oh, was it the Lambo that went off track again? I keep getting track warnings there. Whoops, there he goes again. Yeah, it kind of feels more natural in a GT3 car, though. Kinda. I'm still not quite used to it, but... No, 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 no. Sometimes screaming at the screen helps. I think the Peugeot's been giving me great reflexes. Because no matter what, the Peugeot just wants to head back towards the track. As usually when I lose control with this, it just goes sideways into Never Ever Land.
Gamer YT says, magic.
That time was a 1:49.25.
Indeed, indeed. Ooh, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna make it. Ooh, I made it. Man, shouting at the screen actually works. It's okay, everybody in front of me is gonna crash out. Everybody in front of me is gonna crash out, allowing me to win. Or do I need to be screaming it at the screen? Car doesn't turn enough. I love the McLaren. It's super stable, but it's not edgy enough.
That time was a 1:47.06. Lap 1:45.69.
Okay, so I'm just 1 second off pace from the fastest dude. Given the fact that I'm a total noob, I'm happy with that result. And surprised. Yeah, these pedals feel good for GT3s. I guess it's just a question of getting some more practice in. And getting used to the hypercars and learning how to drive all over again. Can't wait for the haptics though.
Cheddar Gamer YT says, "You're not that bad to call yourself a noob in my opinion."
Oh, thanks, Sir Gamer, but it's hard to explain
1:47.64.
the difference in the pedals. Okay, let's say you have a controller, like a PlayStation controller with a mini joystick. And my old throttle was going up or down. The brake is like going up or down. You know, you can vary the degree of it. And that's all you can do. These new pedals that I just installed today works on pressure. So they barely move, but it's the force that you put onto the pedal that makes a difference. So it's like, you know, how much power are you punching the punching bag with? It's very weird. It's completely different, and I need to get used to it.
Gamer YT says. True.
You know, I don't know if you have a little sister or little brother, and there's a door, and they're on the other side of the door, preventing you from opening the door, so you kind of have to push against the door. And it's the pressure that you're pushing up against that makes the difference. So I'm not used to this. It's kind of like a real car, but it's also not like a real car. Like the pedals move a little bit, but then you gotta push to have something happening. If you push too much, well then you brake too much. If you push not hard enough, then you don't brake. So I'm gonna have to get used to these new pedals. I'm happy I did the GT3 because they feel more natural here.
Eldominisai 3732 says. How's it going?
Pretty good, El Dominic. Installed my new load cell pedals today, this afternoon, and I'm just trying them out this evening. And it's definitely different, very different.
Eldominisai 3732 says. Nice.
Noise. Yeah. So I did a lot of practicing with the hypercars. The hypercars is the hardest thing that is going to be to adapt for me. Because hypercars, you have to be extremely precise. They don't have any ABS or anything. They're extremely fast and they lock up really easily. So
Gamer YT says. It's more realistic in some points, but it must be stable to be comfortable about how much you gonna press it down, and it will be nice if you can decrease some range of limit of pressing it down.
well, no, there is no limit. It's just power against the pedal. The pedal hardly moves at all. It's not like it has a super strong spring. Actually, I could kind of show you. It's got like a little plastic rubber like this, and you squeeze it. But as you can see, it doesn't squeeze. I can't squeeze it. It's a piece of rubber, but it's almost like rock. It's a little bit softer than rock.
Gamer YT says. Then you need some practice.
Yeah, it's just a question of practice, and you know, you push a little bit, you push a little harder, you push a little harder on it. Because it barely moves. It moves like a centimeter, and then it's all the pressure that you're putting behind it that makes the difference. So it's just a question of getting used to, and so for the hypercars that are very sensitive, it's not easy. But this last race that I did in the GT3 cars was a lot of fun. It really felt more natural. So I was afraid I'd be disappointed, but no, I'm actually liking it now. And I also ordered the motors that go with it, but they haven't arrived. They're coming in a different package.
Eldominisci 3732 says, calf raises may help. LOL.
True that, true that. And the angle of them too, I had to fool around with them. I'm not quite sure if this is going to be permanent, but I was really anxious to try them out. Initially, I was going to wait until the motors got here. So the motors will vibrate the pedals. So whenever the ABS kicks in,
Jetter Gamer YT says, since you're trying to enjoy the game more than competition, you gonna like it by the time.
yeah. Well, I'm not a very, well, I am competitive, but
Justin Slim Friesen says, that doesn't seem right. There must be more travel than that. You using the stiffest ones?
yes. And no, there's a centimeter of play, and then you're just like pushing against
Justin
the
Slim Friesen says,
but even the softest ones, I mean, they don't do nothing. I'm not feeling it. Like, it's not a dead stop. You know, it moves a centimeter, it's not a dead stop, but it feels like you're pushing a millimeter or two afterwards, and that's it. You know, like, it goes down, that's my dead zone, and then I start pushing, and then the brake starts going up. Because just resting my foot on it kind of squishes the spring pretty much. But like I said, I'm sitting up and these pedals are not in the perfect order.
Justin Slim Friesen says, and you tries the softest.
And I actually
Justin
removed,
Slim Friesen says, tried?
tried. Yes and no. It's actually a combination there there was like three, and I removed one to be able to put the brake in an angle. If you know what I was talking about yesterday, because I'm sitting straight up like that and my foot's coming at an angle like this. So I kind of needed the pedal to be a little bit more like this. So I have about half the distance of the elastomers. So maybe I would have gotten some more squishiness had I had more cushions, but it would not have felt comfortable for me to use. If that makes any sense.
Jetter Gamer YT says, fair. Justin Slim Friesen says, oh, so the preload is set at a crazy amount.
So normally this is the distance.
Justin Slim Friesen says, that's the problem, I think.
Normally this is like the distance. And I cut that in half. So that it's comfortable for me to be you know, even the travel on the accelerator is longer than my old pedal.
Justin Slim Friesen says, well, of course there's no travel then.
There's a little bit of
Justin
travel.
Slim
Don't
Friesen
get,
says, I get it now.
yeah, don't get me wrong. There's a little bit of travel, but it's all about the pressure that you're putting on the pedal. It's not the travel of the thing, you know. And from one elastomer to two or three or whatever, you know, we're talking about millimeters. You know, once the spring compresses, That's where the work begins. So whether it travels 1 millimeter or 2 or 3 is not really making a difference. It's more in the pressure that I'm putting up against it. But yeah, even the throttle is longer than my old one. So I kind of lean my foot against it, give it a big dead zone at the beginning so that I can reach the end of it. If that makes any sense. Because I'm sitting up. I'm like sitting in the bus driver position here, or like in my car, or in my truck. I'm not super inclinated like in a Formula One car or whatever. So I have to be comfortable and I have to be able to get up and get
Cheddar Gamer
down.
YT says, can you drive F1 in this game or not yet?
Oh no, you're never going to be driving F1 in this game. F1 is a different game. F1 is a game on its own.
Reason says, well, the point of this is, you can set it how you like it. If you want less travel, then yeah, go for it. Some guys like just a few mm's of travel.
Well, I mean, I could forgo the elastomer and put springs, right? And it'll have a spring and it'll travel. And the more the spring compresses, the more pressure I'll have. But that's another kit I need to get. Because they don't give me everything. They all have these kits, add-on kits. I mean, you got a lot to work with at the beginning. But I just need to get used to it. Let me get used to this and adjust to my likes or dislikes. You know, I kind of feel like at a certain point, maybe a reverse mounting position would have been better for these pedals. You know, given the inclination that I have with my seat, if I put them up against the, you know, if I put a board at the end of my rig and mount the pedals differently at an angle, maybe that would have been better. But yeah, I'm not lowering my seat and I'm not raising the pedals. No. Because then it would really be hard for me to get out of my chair and back into it. But okay, time for me to go and walk the cat and watch the F1 tonight. And no, to answer your questions, Gamer, this game is based on, let me go to the main thing here. They don't really say here. It's more in the intro. Oh, maybe I could go online and dailies.
Justin Slim Friesen says, WEC and Elms.
Yes, exactly. So you have the Elms Sprint Trophies. And then you have the WEC Experience. So it's GT3 cars and hypercars. This is what this game is about. And I might not be happy with the number of tracks. I might not be happy with the number of cars. But the physics in this game, the way that the cars feel on the road when you're driving, when the tires are cold and they're warming up, and then you kind of push the car into a corner and start sliding but just a little bit, not too much. This is not a drifting game. But sometimes the wheel just spins a little bit and it puts a smile on my face. If you push it too much and then everything spins, well, then you lose control, and that's not a good thing. So that's what this game is about. And I'm okay with that. If you want to have fun driving, then this is like it. If you want to drive a Viper, if you want to drive a Bugatti, if you want to, what is it, a Pagani? If you want to ride a Ferrari SUV, well, this might not be the game for you. Just like if you like shifting gears, well, then you might want to go towards a road game. Road cars instead of track cars and well, F1. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at F1 nowadays. I mean, in 1986, I would have loved an F1 game. Even the one that came out in 2002 was okay for me. You know, being able to adjust everything, the wings. But now pressing the DRS, the boost, the push to pass, the wings, front wings, back wings, changing the brake bias, everything on the fly for every different corner.
Cheddar Gamer YT says, well, I may have one problem. I cannot get that wheel you're using at this moment.
Oh, well, you don't need to buy this wheel. There's plenty of wheels you can get from a Logitech
Cheddar
to...
Gamer YT says, all I can get here is D shape or normal one. Cheddar Gamer YT says, I don't know if I can still enjoy.
Well, if you're patient, maybe you can pay the shipping and I'll send it to you. Because I'm slowly upgrading, so I do want another steering, but the other steering wheel that's coming out is only coming out in June, mid-June. So it might be July until I get my new steering wheel. After which case I won't need this one anymore. But even if you get the round one, something like this here, there is a mod that you can change the wheel, but you keep the buttons and everything. It just ends up being a kind of steering wheel like I have here, but that fits on this. So, anyways, like I said, I'm gonna go and watch F1. It's starting in 2 minutes. And my little kitty cat that's been asking me to go for a walk now for an hour, I'm going to take care of him. But I will be back tomorrow's, everybody.
Cheddar Gamer YT says, thanks for explanation.
My pleasure.
Cheddar Gamer YT says, and hope to see you again.
Yeah, well, I'll be back tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. Unless I have appointments and stuff. That's pretty much my schedule.